Greetings, my friends. I'm Andrea, astrologer, and welcome to the monthly update for June 2025. Believe me or not, it is mid of the year, and we will have a very volatile month. I would say, yes, it's no retrogrades, but it's fresh new energy that we need to adjust to, and we do have another important ingress in the tropical zodiac. So this means that Jupiter is entering actually another sign in the tropical zodiac. So we'll see what this means, and let's explore, is the bull market still on? I will guide you through the major astrological influences of the month, and in the end I will explain also what is the source of volatility and why do I think this will occur full force in June. So stay tuned for that. This is an extract of the reports that we have for Patreon and Telegram subscribers 1 month in advance, and it is about the June market outlook at macro level, navigating energetic shifts and volatility. I think that would be the best way to describe the month. And as mentioned previously, June marks a period of adjustment as several major planetary shifts take place, or they took place already for some cases. I refer especially to Jupiter, Rahu and Saturn, all being in new signs, and Jupiter is also a very special case because it switched signs already mid-May in the sidereal zodiac, and now it changes the energy in June in the tropical zodiac. There is a difference of currently around 24 degrees between both zodiacs, and we do have now Jupiter with great speed navigating through the sidereal Gemini, as I mentioned already. So we do have three very important forces for driving the markets: Jupiter, Rahu and Saturn, all in new territory. So this means that we need to adjust in terms of the opportunities that we have in the market. So this means for us, why? Because all these planets, Rahu is not really a planet, but it's the north node which is responsible for explosive growth, which means that there are very important opportunities that we don't want to miss. They are now in another sign, so this means that they will have other influences on other altcoins. So we cannot rely that the ones that really increased lately, for example in crypto, I know that most of my audience is interested in crypto, therefore I mention altcoins especially. They will not really grow like before. There are others which will be favored, and also the ones that had big dips might not have them anymore. For this, it is important to check the horoscope of the altcoins, and this way you will have an accurate view of the outlook. And yes, we have some of them, especially in the gold and platinum tiers each month that we inspect for astrological influences. So we need to have in mind that we enter a new phase in the broader energetic landscape. And this is not only for crypto, it's in general for financial markets, for the world. And I do have some videos that detail each transit, so 3 of them you are welcome to have a look. I will link them, and you can see what was also the historical trend, because these are quite rare. Now the month will begin slowly with a delay of about 1 week to 10 days. I know that you don't like this, but when we have these long-term shifts for outer planets, for Jupiter and Saturn, this means that the energy will not manifest fully from the day when the transit begins. Everything takes time, and we need to be prepared for that. But once it will start, it will go full speed. So it's quite interesting, especially with Jupiter, we will see that. And yes, it is a period of adjustment, like I said, because this is a shift that also signifies, a change between elements. We have earth, water, fire, and air as elements. And when they switch, then the energy is also very different. And it can't really switch as you snap fingers. It is really needing some time. On a positive note, still, we don't have retrograde, at least. So we have Pluto retrograde, but the transition already happened, which means that Pluto doesn't really turn now and invoke other delays, so to speak. It will be really good pace, I would say, in the development of the price action in general, and we will not have additional slowdowns or unexpected shifts typically caused by retrograde cycles, which is very important because I think the transition in new signs is enough that we need to cope, and this is for 3 planets. A key moment arrives on June 9th. I refer to the UTC time zone, like always, when we have this important transit or ingress of Jupiter entering Cancer in the sidereal zodiac. Why is Cancer important? Cancer is a movable sign, which means that it's a sign of big change. It is emotional, it is associated with motherhood, with nourishment in general, but also with land and real estate. So we can have expansion in such domains in general, and it is a good influence for Bitcoin, I would say. We will talk about this a bit later. And Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. This means that it has maximum influence, maximum potency and strength. And we will need to analyze what aspects Jupiter makes in order to see how this start of the transit in Cancer will really go on. And it is some turbulence that we need to take into account, but it is nothing so rare and outstanding that we didn't see. So we have on June 15th, the mid of the month, a Jupiter-Saturn square, and this is an aspect that we already saw. It is a bearish aspect per se, but it is a very manifesting aspect in astrology. Whenever we see the square, which is the 90-degree angle, this means that it's manifesting but through effort. So especially when we have Jupiter, which is expansive energy, so it will expand everything it touches, and Saturn, it's about being realistic, it's about putting things into a clear plan so that we reach the goal. Then it is a positive dynamic, despite of the fact that it will not go very smoothly. We will have the obstacles and the tests from Saturn in order to achieve the expansion promised by Jupiter. So we can say that we have a push-pull dynamic between growth and restriction here, and we need to really expect and prepare for that. Market momentum may feel erratic, with optimism frequently checked by realism. I don't say pessimism. For pessimism, you need some days where we have day-level influences that are quite negative, and then yes, these are unavoidable according to planetary cycles, but in general Jupiter is very strong in the emotional Cancer. This can be an advantage or a disadvantage, but we will have a market sentiment that can be especially reactive in a good or in a negative way, and we can have here decisions that are driven more by feeling than by fact. So things might not really be too logical or too factual, especially in the beginning of this transit of Jupiter in Cancer in the first half of June. Then we have the Jupiter-Neptune square, which follows 4 days after on June 19th. And this is an alignment which helps actually deflating unrealistic expectations, potentially correcting inflated valuations in a healthy and stabilizing way. Why I talk about this? Because especially in some domains on the stock market, if you are interested, we get companies that are really overvalued in terms of their valuations. We can say that they are exaggerated because especially AI, I refer to the AI corner here, and this is the fact, there is a fact that we have a lot of money that is poured into it, so a lot of investments, but the return on investment is not really there, at least not yet. And it seems that we will have this adjustment in evaluating things here in this area. And this will manifest also globally. So it's not only about AI. For me, AI is now the most obvious corner where we have this, but in general, it will push towards more grounded, realistic assessments of assets and opportunities. And it will apply to crypto as well. Crypto will be also checked and we will not have that blind optimism about the promises and the dreams that are sold by a certain project with this. And it is important also to note the fact that we will have another important development, which is Mercury going out of bounds between June 2nd and June 21st. When a planet, Mercury or any other planet, goes out of bounds, it will have exaggerated condition. And this means that it is more potent. It can be in both directions, depending on the aspects that Mercury will make each day. Here we cannot cover all of them, but they will be present, and you can see them as aspects on steroids. They can also lead to a bigger transaction volume, and this can be for better or worse, and it will influence the price action daily in a more powerful way. So this means that short term we can get bigger moves than usual, especially in the first 3 weeks of this month. It's very important to take this into account. And it will be really a catalyst for communication, trading, and information flow in general. You will see that it will be a very dynamic month, especially in the first part, with let's say caution that in the first days we will have this delay and adjustment of Jupiter to the new energy. So we can expect significant activity in the markets, which is driven by heightened reactions to news and announcements. Maybe you are fed up with this already, but this trend will continue, and the planets show this, that it will persist in the next month as well. During this time, even small developments could lead to outsized market moves, especially if Mercury forms very strong positive or very strong negative aspects. And you know this, for example, if you subscribe on Patreon, you have the calendars for the financial assets, including the US indices and the gold and silver index XAU ahead of time, and of course for major cryptocurrencies, and also for custom ones in the gold and platinum tier. So this way, when you see a Mercury aspect that is really powerful, you know you are prepared that a bigger move can be expected. Of course, we will see what happens, and when we will see concretely what the news are, we will know better where we are. But this is the contour, the picture that is drawn beforehand. While high transaction volumes are possible, of course, outcomes will remain always unpredictable in terms of magnitude, but to have new at the highest is not abnormal under such conditions. It happened before, and we can expect big moves. Now we do have also two bullish conjunctions involving Jupiter, and we can have local market highs on the date or around those dates, depending on the other aspects that are short term and they are nearby these big aspects of Jupiter. And on June 8th, we have Jupiter-Mercury conjunction, which is very powerful because Mercury is still out of bounds. Yes, the conjunction deserves close attention, so put a reminder in your calendars for this, and it can spark notable market enthusiasm or speculative surges. This is not unusual with such an aspect. And then we have on June 24th the Jupiter-Sun conjunction, which is another potentially bullish signal, although it is more balanced than the earlier one, because from the 22nd of June onwards we also have Mercury, which is not out of bounds anymore. And Mercury is important because it signifies the trading activity. But this Jupiter-Sun conjunction would point to very positive regulatory news in general, because Sun is government and Jupiter is benevolence, expansion, so we can expect such a development. Mid-month volatility is very likely to peak when Mars squares Uranus on June 15th, which is a classically bearish setup. And this is known for triggering sudden, sharp price movements. This will be, however, temporary corrections. I would say they happen quickly. Also, Jupiter traverses this sign very quickly, especially in June. We will have a high speed there once we get the adjustment to the new energies, and we can say that it will be an opportunity to buy rather for the bullish coins that you believe in. Then overall, June is shaping to be an eventful month, I would say, although it may feature fewer turning points than May. We like it or not, this is the case. I think we want more stability in the markets. I wouldn't say that June is stable, but we don't have these changes like in the case of May, which means that we might have more meaningful results in a short period of time, in the sense that we will not have so many contradictory points, a retrograde which turns now another transit and so on. So it is more stable in this sense, so to speak. So what can we say? We would recommend that traders remain alert to emotional market reactions, to inflated narratives, which can happen still, and then they will get corrected by the Jupiter-Neptune square, and the powerful effects of planetary alignments on sentiment and momentum. So it will not be a very logical journey, I would say, in terms of rational, in terms of facts, but it will be driven a lot by emotion. So be aware of this. As promised, I would like to talk about volatility. First of all, we saw that we have Mercury out of bounds. We do have very bullish aspects between Jupiter and other planets. So mainly it's about Mercury and Sun. And this is with this new fresh exalted energy from a perspective of the tropical zodiac. So it's not fully, in my opinion, I see the maximum energy when the tropical and the zodiac signs are aligned. But still, this is a very strong energy to take into account. What do we have else? Because there is something else which is present that makes me believe that it will be a very big month in terms of big shifts, and everything will happen again very fast because of Jupiter's speed and the fact that Mercury is out of bounds for the first 3 weeks of the month. We do have a lot, unusually many long-term aspects, not only on S&P 500, which is really the macro. It is unusually this configuration, so to speak, unusually rich for a single month. And the outer aspects, these long-term aspects, are really signifying something very special to happen because they happen rarely. When a lot of them converge in the same month, then this points towards a very significant month. Therefore, our expectation for big events. And this is really the macro, so it's the economy, and it is US that will be in the limelight most likely, in my opinion, for news and for the general outlook at macro level in June. And we have also not at that level, but still a lot of aspects which are long-term for Bitcoin. And it is always a mix, I would say. It is not that it is only bullish or only bearish. And when we talk about volatility, we should expect also sharp, sudden drops on the way. They will not last long, but they will be an opportunity to buy the assets that you really believe in, and it will be a interesting time to follow. Important is to really know your goals, your time frame, and also your exit points, because it is really high energy. It will be fast. Things will happen fast, and we need to take into account what are always our goals, and each of you will decide for that for sure. And yes, it is an opportunity. We can really climb and navigate the big waves that the market will allow us for June. And let's make the best out of it. I hope you will be well equipped for that. Thank you so much for your attention, for liking and subscribing. It helps the channel. And until next time, be joyful. See you.